Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm doing a page using this cut file. Now I cut this a while ago and didn't like it in the blue, so decided just to paint it black, and I'm going to be backing it with some silver paper that goes with these photographs and also mounting it on white basil cardstock. So I've got here some ink. I didn't end up using the ink that I've got in the picture here. So I'm not going to be using that or the pen that's actually on my table. Just looking at this thinking, actually I really like this mirrored finish, but I don't really want to use the whole sheet. So I'm going to back this in little parts, just so that I've got quite a lot of that left over, so that I will be able to use it on another project later on. So I'm just thinking of the best way to do pieces of this a little bit at a time. So I slowly just build this up. I have not videoing this whole section because you don't need to see me do all of this, but as you can see I'm just doing this little bit to start with, and then I keep piecing little pieces over various areas just so that I'm getting complete coverage on the whole sort of little swoops or on the whole star. And then I can overback in parts where you're not going to see that it's actually overlapped at all. So just wiping some excess glue that I put on there, and then I thought, now I'm not sure whether the best thing to do would be to cut this with some scissors or to use a knife. So I'm just sort of like having a little bit of a try to work out which is the best way to do this, and I'm using the scissors, but actually here I come in and get my glass mat, and I'm going to use a knife as well. So I kind of used a mixture of the two to get a good cut on the backing paper, and just tidying up the little bits where I couldn't quite get with the knife properly, and just coming in with my scissors and tidying it up. So this just gives you a nice, it's going to give a nice mirrored finish, because the clothes that my friend and I are wearing in this video are very silvery and sparkly. So I thought actually doing this with the sparkly paper would be a nice way to tie it in with the photographs. This is a New Year's Eve photograph many years ago. And yes, I just thought this would be a nice way of showing off these pages. As you probably have seen from my videos, I kind of chop and change and jump. I don't scrapbook a particular time. I'm not up to date with my scrapbooking, and I do jump around. So sometimes I'm doing photographs like this, which is pre-children. It's actually pre-millennium. These photographs are from 1998, New Year's Eve. But you can see sometimes my children are babies, and other times they are more older children, and almost adults. So that's just the way I scrapbook. I like to scrapbook how I'm feeling, or if I want to tell a particular story. So you can see here that as I turn this around, I am just gluing in the last bits of flappy paper just to stick them all down, and then that is finished. I'm going to put it on the white cardstock, but I'm also going to put a bit of blue to tie that blue in my friend's outfit, sort of with the pictures. And I'm just kind of arranging these, thinking about how I want them. Candy's come to say hello and see what's going on, as she often likes to do. So yes, so I thought the blue would be nice to sort of give it a bit more pop and a little bit more colour. I'm going to be using this bramblefox perspective that says smile. And once I'd layered all that down, I thought actually I need a little bit more colour. So I've got out this dark blue Shimmerz paint that I'm going to use the packaging technique to put some splodges around my page. Now most of this of course is going to get covered over, you're just going to see part of it. So I put that down straight with no water, watering it down, and now I'm coming in with a little bit of water just to lighten part of that down, and just to give a little bit more, just a little bit more colour, a little bit more interest to the background. I don't want too much because I don't want it to detract from the actual page. It's just to give it a little bit more flair, because I thought that actually it might be lacking a little bit. So having decided that I was going to use the blue background, so to create a blue border, of course I need to cut a little bit of paper off my white, which I didn't really think about before I inked. And I love this blue. It's kind of like a denim blue, and it's a coordinates paper, so it rips quite nicely. So I'm going to gut the middle of this out. Now this is a great way of just saving the paper, because other than that I'm just sticking the whole back on a whole piece of, or almost a whole piece of white basil, and that's just a waste. So this way you don't see, when you're looking at my page, that I haven't used the whole sheet of the blue paper. And I'm going to come in with some washi tape. It's some washi tape that came in a pack that I don't particularly like. It has writing on it. I think it says handmade, and so I don't actually like this, so I'm just using this in order to hold this to my page. Sometimes I come in with a little bit of glue. This time I didn't, but sometimes I'll also use a little bit of glue just to make sure it does hold, just in case the washi tape, the glue, sometimes washi tape isn't that great and you lose the stickiness over time. But on this occasion I didn't. Just trying to work out now which way I want the stars, how I want it to sit on the paper, and how it looks. And as you can see, most of that blue that I did has gone. You've just got a little bit here and there, a little splash here and there, behind where the pictures don't meet. Just showing there that I'm sticking these down one at a time just to see how they line up and how I like them, and thinking about where I'm going to have those straight lines. This didn't look quite right, so I'm going to take that off again and resit it and try to work out how to better put this in place. And just to make sure that it's straight with my paper, so that the bottom of the photograph is going to be level with the bottom of my paper as well, just so that I know the stars don't cut into my picture and detract from my picture, but I also, so that I'm not covering them all up. So let's just slowly turn this back and forward, and making sure these pictures go in the right place, and if there's any excess I can cut them off. So I'm pretty much happy with that. I have done a little bit more sticking behind there, as you can see there, but I'm pretty happy with that. Need to cut that corner off because it came out through the side of the circle, and I'm just going to stick all of these down now with a little bit of tape that sticks them together, just checking again to make sure that I do like the way they sit and where I would like this one to go. And this one will go in, and I've left a gap so that the perspective is not covering up my photograph as well, when that gets put in the middle of the circle. So there I go, sticking the last bit of those down, so I'm happy with that, and I'm going to take off all the backing strips and stick that on my page so that I can add my perspective. But I do quite like the way that the page has turned out. It's it's come out quite nice. The blues all match with the blue in the photograph. My trousers in the photograph are silver, so that goes with the silver that I put inside the stars. And it's a bit blingy, it's a bit flash, it's New Year's Eve, so why not, as it was the photograph was New Year's Eve. I'm just coming in here with my journaling with the story to tell. So my boss was taking these photographs of me and a friend who lived next door before we went out on New Year's Eve, and he asked us what our New Year's resolution was, and my New Year's resolution was to be nice to the French. So when I came home on New Year's Day and said that I had a French boyfriend, he told me I didn't need to be that nice. So it's just a funny sort of story. And just to memorialise the evening. At the time, I was living in London, and it was a good flash New Year's, the last one before Millennium New Year. So it is over 20 years ago, but these memories should be preserved, and that's what I wanted to do. So I'm just finishing my journaling there, and I've just used a pencil to draw my lines and my grey pen to do my writing, and then I come in with my cat. So you can see my full page and a little bit of close-up so you can see what's going on. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it's inspired you to get out your scrap stuff and to have a go. Cheers, take care, bye bye.